Okay, hello, this is Jordan White. Welcome to the August video that I want to do, and I'm gonna start off with do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. I can't be afraid of anything. I can't. Philippians 4:6, New International Version. This is the verse I live by. I cannot be afraid of anything. I don't want to be afraid of nothing no more after this. I want peace. I want total peace. And everyone just wants to try to give us a feeling that no peace is coming. Why would you think no peace is coming? You know what? Start off with this. I want to be. My mind is above here, and anything political, anything politicians, anything politics would be down here. So I gotta put myself. My mind is above it because I'm super duper smart. I'm super duper smart right here because there are people out there who sincerely love me, and there are people out there who are always helpers. But there are people who are pessimists, and I don't want to be a pessimist. I got to look on the bright side of things. I gotta be an optimist. I gotta have a certain degree of positivity, no matter what things come my way. So let's get started with what I want to discuss. What's new with me? Well, 2020 has been a crazy year, but then things start to hit me personally. You see, my grandmother Manna passed away August 3rd, 2020. She was 82. She was suffering from Parkinson's for a long time. I had to go to a funeral a little more than 2 weeks ago. And I was having an absolutely... I already got the tears out, and now I'm trying to adapt. Of course, I got the whole week off just to adapt. And Mom's going to have a little harder time adapting because it was her own mother. And she needs some space. I was told to give her space. I was told that I need to give her space because it's it's better than trying to not disrespect her during such a crucial time. You see, she needs social interaction. She needs people to surround her with, and I'm successfully giving her that, and not trying to go off on my own, trying to build my own computer, or do what I want to do. So that's the next tidbit. What I want to do with my next computer. Okay. So I look up sites like these: WCCF Tech, Tom's Hardware, Notebook Check, not Oh, I'm sorry. I just zoned out there. I'm very sorry that I did that. Okay, so Notebook Check, video cards, hardware, and And then the last thing is Tweak Town. I'll look at all these websites for hardware news. Turns out Microsoft Flight Simulator is a game I want to play because it's rated E, it's safe, and you can actually all you do is just fly a plane. But it's not like you're trying to kill people. I mean, Wreck-It Ralph was like, when do video games become so violent and scary? I mean, they started out good, but then so many of them are rated M these days. Of course, so many actually need. So many games are just rated M. I mean, I would love to have more E-rated games. I mean, I'm not like what you call a gamer because I got a lot of important things on my mind, and I need to be paid. I need to have a job. I have a profession that requires me to develop software. But I look at all these websites for hardware news because I want to build a computer that, rather than just be a tower that's just standing there as kind of solid black, I want to, this time, given the trends of RGB lighting and all that stuff, I would like to light this thing up like a Christmas tree and take a cue from the Empire State Building and light it up at certain times at certain days of the year, which would enable. This is what it looks like. This is what it is. This is how it's going. And sorry about that. So no, silly, no. I just had to close some tabs right there. So I'm going to build a computer. I'll just have to purchase the parts, and someone else is gonna have to help me assemble everything together. But I'm gonna build every single little tidbit, and in honor of my grandmother, not call it the Manitou. Of course, Manitou is not in honor not only to my grandmother, but also to the Apple II. One of the earliest successes in computers. And if you were a kid in the 80s or something like that, you would have seen this computer in so many schools and so many different environments. Like, stop being so pessimistic about everything. I need to be optimistic. I gotta avoid those articles. Those awful articles. I want to avoid them. Just negativity. Just extreme negativity. I gotta avoid them. It's not healthy for me. So having little tidbits that talk about the certain degree of positivity that you get when you look at the Apple II and some a certain degree of positivity, because you can actually look at this Apple Watch for poor people. I mean, this is crazy, man. I'm not like I have computer science stuff. Yeah, politics is right below, and I'm not like, I have a better brain than just thinking that the world's gonna end because we're making it end. I have a better brain than that. I could be a helper. So I want to name my next computer Manitou RGB case. I want to light up like this. See? Look at this. Look at all these cases. I like to light up like that. Or maybe I could just custom build it that way. I mean, look at this. Oh, it's a structural concept. Oh, it's a store thing, not a computer. It's also a mod. HX chassis, gray, case like that. Oh man, that's crazy. But there's also another little tidbit that you might want to know. The press and myself, they exaggerate. They just blow things out of proportion. They make things bigger than themselves. It's like monkey see, monkey do, all that stuff. You can't predict the future. but maybe I just take things too literally or rationalize just way too much. It's all part of who I am, and I want to evolve past that. So let me give you a little example in terms of what I was talking about with the custom computer. All right, so here's a YouTube channel. It's Gamer Build, and 2 days ago he made a video that he said NVIDIA's RTX 3000 has a major issue, and I look at this thumbnail. It points to the Ampere graphics card. That's what the code name is, and it's a big graphics card, and inside is a chip, and they put it on fire, and when that happens, I take a picture like that and just turn the craziness up to 11. Like, it's insane. Like I think that the minute I just plug in the graphics card into my computer, it's gonna blow up. Like boom. I turn it on, boom, it explodes, blow up, boom, boom, boom. Like it's a nuclear weapon. Then there's then when they talk about extreme power draw on a CPU, somehow and when they say a computer is a nuclear reactor or something like that, I take it literally. I take that sentence literally, as if I'm causing global warming just by running a computer. Nope. No. It was they can't do that. I cannot do that anymore. The world does not revolve around me. I cannot make everything about me. I cannot make everything about me personally. It's not what you're supposed to do. You can't do that. Well, pray that I don't do that. Keep on praying. Sorry. And then there's the pricing. Pricing won't be too much of an issue because I have plenty of money in my savings account to cover the cost. I'm just wondering how much will people just hate certain things. I don't want to feel bad, man. I don't want to feel like downtrodden or something. They all want to make these statements. They all feel like they're gonna go downtrodden, or everybody's gonna make this such a big dramatic scene. And I play Monkey See, Monkey Do, and look at an image like that. See my cursor? I look at an image like that and just blow everything out of proportion. Make it so bigger than myself. Like, I think like it's the most sensitive thing. Like, computers are just gonna blow up in my face. Sorry. Can't do that no more. Okay. So I'm going to have a computer named Mana 2, which will be a tribute to both my grandmother and an Apple II. A personal part of computing history. Alright, so let me show you a little something. Is that okay if I show you something? Okay, so sorry. See this? This is a succulent. I thought it was a cactus, but it's actually a succulent. It's a succulent cactus plant. And all you have to do is water it once a week to keep it nice and fresh. And I gave it last night, David and Julia, when I had the hot dog party, which is part of a great socialization tactic, and we watched the Braves, and we actually had a great time. The Braves won against the Phillies. See, I had a problem. No, actually I didn't. So silly. Sorry. I'm shaking the plant. Oh, it's just a loose pot. I'm sorry. I gave this plant the name Carbon Spike because I think it will be a carbon sequester system that I'll be able to suck carbon from the room and from the atmosphere and what you call things like that. All that stuff. Boom. That's what I think. Okay, so a succulent plant that I can water once every Saturday. Let's go back to the to my web browser and stuff. It's a place where I get all the hardware news, all that crazy stuff about my Epic's game store. I'm pretty sure you probably know it by now. Some of it. Well, let's go to the next little tidbit. Wanting fall to start early. This year has been really trying for me, testing my patience so much, and I've been being. Summer felt like it was so long because there was hardly anything happening. Like I couldn't do things. Like I couldn't make things happen, and it didn't. And it didn't look like out like I wanted to. Like I'm just not making, not having a good time or something. Like there's just limiting the darkness of stuff. People are just such drama queens, kings or queens. They just make this every crisis we've experienced in 2020. The press makes it infinitely worse. Like they want to try to. They're not looking for the helpers. They don't want us to look for the helpers. I want to find the helpers. That's why I look up to the nurses and the healers and the doctors. These are people who have These are people who are really helping make a difference in other people's lives, and I thank them so much for that. Great job, guys. I don't want to be a pessimist. I want to be an optimist. So given that the summer has been testing my patience, I want fall to start early. Like I want the temperatures to drop, and it's not. It ain't just me who's knowing about it. It turns out that Starbucks and Dunkin Donuts want to bring out their fall drinks early this year, and Dunkin Donuts has already done it. Starbucks has done it. Let me show you. Dunkin Donuts. Yeah, Dunkin Donuts already are doing the fall drinks. Now, as for Starbucks, they'll be bringing them out August the 25th. Stop crying. Am I crying too much? Maybe it's just the emotion getting over me. Please just tell me if I'm crying. Pumpkin Spice Writing Room says coming back to Starbucks soon. Starbucks is rumored to launch the Pumpkin Spice Latte on August 25th. It's the earliest date ever. Starbucks BOGO Happy Hour is back today, so you can kiss someone goodbye with one last iced drink. Boom, boom. We seem so privileged. Okay. There's another one tidbit where I zoned out, but there's another ridiculous reason for why I want fall to start early. I want the temperatures to drop. I'm obsessing with snow and cold and ice and stuff. Like I want Georgia to. I want my place to be so cold, like frosty, freezy, cold, super icy cold. Like I want to feel cold. I feel comfortable in the cold. Alright. But there's one little tidbit that I want to let you in on. There's one ridiculous episode. See, I every single time around this year, every single year around this time, with like August, September, July, August, September, that's those sorts of things, I don't like the hottest months of where I live. I have a tendency to think of this one particular episode of Batman, like not the Batman the animated series, Batman Beyond, or Gotham, or other shows, Batman related shows. I'm talking about the show that brought Batman to the public limelight, the old 1960s Adam West show. And there's one ridiculous episode where he and Robin are turned into Frosty Freezies by Mr. Freeze. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. Batman and Robin both being turned into pineapple frosty freezies. And giant by Mr. Freeze. And then later on in the same episode, Mr. Freeze decides to blackmail all of Gotham City by giving them one. Hang on, let me show you this. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Mr. Freeze decides to demands from Gotham City $1 billion in the same episode, Dr. Evil style, or else he'll freeze Gotham City under a huge cake of ice exactly like a million years ago, and even goes so far as to provide an artist rendering of what Gotham would look like if it was frozen solid with ice. Am I really such a sick science denier or something like that? Because I actually want cold to happen, and yet am I such a sick science denier that I actually want super cold? Actually, I'm a computer scientist. I don't really think I really deny science. Why would I place myself here? I need to be here, not in the politics zone. Well, let me just give you a little tidbit on Fall Starting Early. I often think of freezy cold, like Mr. Freeze is the epitome of cold. And I love to be cold. Like, I want to like to be cold, man. I want to be cold. Because it's like, somehow I get the impression I do better in cold temperatures than I do in hot ones. Like, is there something wrong with me? Actually, it's because my body is more warm-blooded. I mean warm-blooded. It's actually, well, warm-blooded. Like, it's sensitive to heat. It sweats a lot. When Mom touches me, she notices that I'm rather warm. Like, I'm warm to the touch. And it's it gives you the feeling that you're okay, warm to the touch skin. No. Oh, sorry, lashes. Oh, gracious sake, no. Hang on. Sorry about that. Oh, gracious sakes. Well, okay, so you know what? Actually, it has something to do with my blood type. It appears that my blood type gives me a preference of saying, you know what? I would prefer to live in the cold than I would in the hot. And I have a hard time with heat. So this brings us to my final point. If people in the media or the Hollywood or politics or something think that the world's burning up because we're using fossil fuels, or that it's all gonna end and stuff, like it was gonna end of the world and stuff, like we all die, and everybody just losers, gets all crazy, and everyone thinks we're gonna be all doomed. Everyone hates us or something like that, and I don't want to be a part of actually. I want to be a helper, and I don't want to be one who's irrationalizing. Well, plus all this craziness happening in a 2020 election year. Let me just give you a heads up. I am not a fan of either candidate. I'm not a fan of either presidential candidate. Even though I'll vote, I'm not a fan of either presidential candidate. I don't go around dressing up in the little political slogans or anything like that. I'm not a fan of either candidate. My mind is right here. Politics is right here. I gotta have my mind be super better than and be a problem solver. I want my mind to be a problem solver, not someone who's like trying to bring attention to a problem or just making prophets of doom and stuff. I want to be a problem solver. I want to solve the problem. So my last point is that I had a firefighting invention. You see, I actually wanted to, well, create something like this. I wanted to create something like this for, I wanted to create something like this, but it was for the outdoors. I mean, no. I don't want to embed it in the ground like this. I don't want to do it like that. No, underground spring, not that way. Actually, I want to, not in a residential way. I mean, they already did this, already did that. But what I was trying to do is to create a sprinkler system for outdoor areas that can prevent these. I want to prevent these. And look at this. Here's another. Look at this. They think the world's ending. Look at this. I think the world's ending because like it's apocalypse. I don't want to feel. I don't want to be part of the apocalyptic environment and stuff. Don't feel like I don't want to be the part of the darkness. I want to help. That's why I wanted to create something like this for the outdoors, powered by something like this, a Raspberry Pi. I had an idea for an invention, but it was postponed because of the pandemic. Now California looks like they're going to need it. Like every single year, they go through forest fire season. Every single year. Hang on, let me bring up the little tidbits. So the highest has been burn acreage for California, which of course is like it's actually, I cannot treat this as if it's the whole California. It's actually, this number is less than 10% of all of California. And given the fact that it's like it's spread into little tidbits and pieces of certain territories in California, then that it's not gonna be super hard or anything like that. I mean, every year they talk about how this is worsening, they all talk about how this is worsening, how the time to act is now, and they all talk about the darkness. The future will never be determined. The future isn't written, as Doc Brown says. It's what you make of it. Hang on. It's never gonna be set in stone. But because God's not gonna tell us what the future is gonna be. We have to figure that out for ourselves as time passes. We cannot predict the future. We're never going to predict the future automatically. Alright. So 2015 was a higher year, but according to this, prior to 1983, sources of these figures are not known or cannot be confirmed and were not derived from the current situation of the reporting process. As a result, the figures prior to 1983 should not be compared to later data. Yada yada. Of course, you keep on going down here. Back in the 50s, the burn acreage was hotter and stuff. Craziness. So, why would you make a mountain out of a molehill? Do you think that? Of course, I know you would know your answer, thinking that we would all burn up the possibilities. But do you have to really make it worse than it actually is, just to get us into action? I want to be a helper. I had a forest fire invention. You know, I actually had a dream one time, like 2 years ago, where I invented a cold machine, like that can actually make it snow and ice and cold pretty much anywhere in the world when needed. And Al Gore, like, him, the former vice president, he prevented me from doing that, and instead he wanted me to be a prophet of doom. He didn't want me to be a helper. So he just wanted. So he didn't want me to be a helper. He wanted me to be a prophet of doom. I don't want to be a prophet of doom. I want to help. I want to help out every year with this crisis by making an invention, such as the one I have in mind for trying to reduce the likelihood of stuff like this getting worse. Like, look at this. But maybe God's doing it. Maybe it's doing it itself. Maybe it's not as big as I think it's gonna be. All right, we'll go over the numbers here. 2015, if they say that was the worst in the last 40 years or something like that. Then 2016, it drops down. 2017 goes back up, but not as high as 2015. 2018 drops down again, but it actually is a lesser. But it's not as big as 2017. But they make such a big deal out of this because this one town got burned, Paradise, and it's like they felt like you don't want to give hope or something like that. They want to make a mountain up and want to make something bigger than it actually is. The world does not revolve around me. This is not about me. This is not about me. I never stepped foot in the state of California before, but I would love to. But that trip's been delayed because of you know what. And then 2019, it drops down again. It's lower than 2019 is lower than 2018, 2017, 2016, and 2015. A lot of times these things vary. Why do you have to make a mountain out of a molehill? Why do you have to make yourself bigger than yourself? Thinking that it's never about me individually. They often target the leadership to so many different people, but it's not about Jordan White. It's not about me. Maybe people are actually better than I actually think they are. Maybe everyone just hates this guy. I don't want to be a hated person. I'm not President you know who. I'm not the guy who makes such bad things happen. I'm not an antichrist. I will never be the antichrist. But why did I have a dream where Al Gore was preventing me from being a helper? I wanted to be a helper. Al Gore was preventing me from being a helper. Okay. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to be a helper. Okay. But given that circumstance, I actually want to show you a video that sums up better than words why I want to be a helper. I want to be a helper. I don't want anyone stopping me from being a helper. This is why I want to be a helper. Alright, let me show you the video. I'm pretty much going to turn the desktop audio on just to let you show this video. I hope I don't get taken down just by showing the whole video.
You know, my mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any really catastrophe that was in the movies or on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. There will always be helpers, you know, even just on the sidelines. That's why I think that if news programs could make a conscious effort of showing rescue teams, of showing medical people, anybody who is coming into a place where there's a tragedy, to be sure that they include that. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
This guy sums up better than words what I want to be able to do, why I want to be a helper. Iconic children's television host Mr. Rogers. You see, I actually want to be a helper because of him. And I actually remember watching this show when I was a kid. So why do you have to make things worse? Okay. Firefighting. You see, look at this. Look at this. I mean, paramedic freelancers, firefighters are from California wildfires. Fire. Those wildfire criminal trains, bank ground COVID limits. California's effort to fight wildfires with prison. Stop making such a nightmare out of it. I want the helpers. Invention. Firefighting. And I forget about the firefighting inventions that every government amazing firefighting inventions and equipment Mr. retains firefighting forever, fire extinguish flames without wild blasting robots to flame suppressing dodgeballs. Watch how they work. You know what? Oh. Maybe I just had an idea just to target the... Maybe I had an idea for the sake of targeting California and the Amazon and Australia. Maybe I wanted to target those areas because everyone was making such a big tidbit, this big deal out of burning things. Like, they think everything's getting worse. They think the world's getting worse. So stop trying to make things about yourself. The world does not revolve around you. I cannot make it about myself. This is not about Jordan White. I don't really think there's a fire burning this year in the Amazon rainforest like there was last year. I think the big story is the trying pandemic. It's been strange. And I only wish it would just go away and we can all have happy lives and we can progress and make things better in our own way. Okay. So, given that, I want to end this on a positive note. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry about a thing. Everything's gonna be alright. That's what Mom's telling me. Like the song. Don't worry about a thing. Everything's gonna be alright. Yeah. I want to be super positive. Super happy. My life is great. My life is super great. I cannot make this bigger than it is. I cannot. If I regulate what content I see, what goes into my brain, then I could become a much better problem solver. I could become someone who is a helper, just like Mr. Rogers was talking about. When I do that, then I am looked up to and inspired by, well, at least people are inspired by me. Like, they look up to me. I'm getting to a certain point in my life where people are soon gonna start looking up to me, like kids, like little kids. Kids may start looking up to me because I've been there and done that. I would have a lot of the answers. I've been through things that they have not been through yet, and they would need a mentor. So I pray that I'll provide them what they're looking for. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. I will, those are my updates. Also, my birthday's coming up, so I'm gonna have a good birthday. Okay. I hope you have a great day. This is Jordan White signing off.